Hey, Daver here. Welcome to the show.
Hey, this guy's Chad.
And Chandler's back as well. How we doing, Dave?
Oh, I am doing pretty darn good. It felt really good to be in a familiar venue that was home to AEW for so long during the pandemic. I was talking to Chad before we started, and yeah, like I know you, Chandler, don't feel that feeling. But yeah, it felt good to. It kind of felt like being home, like their home base,
Here's
and
what I,
good
oh,
crowd. Uh,
here's what I would say to add on to that. I like Claudio Castagnoli, Swerve Strickland, and Adam Copeland. This was my first time coming to Daly's place, and I don't know, maybe they just upped the set or something, but it does feel like a really. I don't feel that original feeling because I never watched original AEW, but I really dig it. I really like the setup. Um, there were some odd production issues, but that didn't really matter. I mean, it did matter, but at least with the venue and how it was orchestrated and how the stage was set up, I really liked it. As dumb as it is, I really liked how there was the big Titantron and then people surrounding it, and like it was just cool. So if we're not going back to Daly's place anytime soon, like, can we do more venues like that? Like, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it had such a cool, unique look. I don't know. I think wrestling is actually could be served in being more like that style of location. There's just so many cool surfaces. The graphics looked like that. The Hook when Hook came out, they had the big the bat signal for Hook kind of thing on the giant
Yeah.
space. I was like, man, that looks amazing. Yeah, between like the nostalgia, but with all like the updated looks and stuff, I thought this was probably the best looking Dynamite they've done ever.
Wow, big praise, but I loved the set, so I'm not doubting it.
I wanted to get another opinion on it. Like, uh, Daly's place is basically kind of like the Full Sail uh, for NXT, right? Like that
hmm
feeling that people like, it was on every week there, and like, yeah, I feel like that'd be a good comparison. Am I right?
I mean, yes, definitely, at least for NXT Black and Gold back in the day, like the peak of NXT was all in Full Sail University, and that really, like, people really latched onto the characters. I think it's the same thing with like TNA back in the day. Why those people got over is because they were at the same place every time, so the same people are like, oh, I'm gonna watch these people slowly grow and develop their characters as they go. So, I mean, AEW's a little past that now, but at least for the pandemic, Daily's Place is probably perfect for that. And again, like, let's do this every year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Homecoming should definitely become a yearly tradition because that was awesome. Loved the show. Lots of little nods to the pandemic too. Hangman drinking the beer, Stokely ringside because like that was it was only wrestlers there, so the wrestlers populated it. So I don't know, just lots
Oh,
of cool little nods to a darker time, which I actually kind of look fondly back on. I thought it was a good product for what they had to work with. They did their best and were really creative, and I don't know, like it felt home and it felt like we were coming home. It was great.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, felt like being home, familiar. Yeah, I liked all the nods that they gave us throughout the episode. Real quick though, before we get in the first match, because Chandler, you briefly mentioned the name TNA. Did you get to check out any of the new titles that they
I actually
uh,
haven't. Did they actually release them all?
Yeah, they look freaking fantastic. The World Championship for Alex Shelley, who's also the Prestige World Champion, looked
Ooh.
incredible. Trinity Fatu got her belt. They have a digital media,
I
basically an
saw that
internet
picture. That
champion,
looked dope.
Is it
Tommy
a
Dreamer.
is it a black strap or a white strap?
Black.
Yeah, that one
Okay.
was black.
I think I'm seeing it. Wow, if I'm looking at it, I mean, I only found the heavyweight one. It's pretty damn good.
Shelley.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm all in on the TNA. I've got to get the TNA Plus and all that. And I want to watch that pay-per-view, which is a couple days away, or
Oh
it's like
damn.
tomorrow or some.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I'm pretty excited. I want to join the bandwagon from the get-go, you know?
Yeah, why not? This is the best time to. Wow, that just looks like a notch above that old Impact title. I'm not knocking the old one, but just looking at that current TNA title on that, Alex Shelley, oof, that's a good looking belt. So I'm
Yeah.
a fan. I'm not going to promise that I'll watch TNA, but I might watch a show or two, which is better than I
Yeah.
was 6 months ago, which was a nah, never. I'm sure it's great, but eh.
Yeah. Only so
Chris
many hours in the
Sabin.
day.
Hmm.
Yeah. Chris Sabin got the new X Division Championship, kind of their cruiserweight Daredevil division.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, really cool. I just wanted to bring that up before we get into the Hangman Claudio match.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, speaking of, we got Hangman Adam Page versus Claudio Castagnoli. Um, Claudio called out Hangman Page last week. Uh, Started out, Hangman Page kicked Claudio before Claudio could even get in the ring. They end up on the floor. Claudio gives Hangman a European uppercut against the barricade. Claudio pokes Hangman in the eyes and then suplexes him and covers for two. Claudio's working a pretty good heel for the match. Really dug it. Uh, he was standing on Hangman with all his weight. Hangman ends up absorbing a bunch of headbutts from Claudio, fires back, but Claudio gets Hangman in a giant swing, then into the sharpshooter. Hangman goes for the ropes. Claudio gets him in a crossface. Hangman ends up countering into a roll up for a 2 count. We get a Death Valley driver to Claudio from Hangman, and Claudio goes for a backslide for two, or Hangman goes for a backslide on Claudio for two. Hangman dives on Claudio on the outside. Adam Page drinks a beer from the fan. Uh, I like the little joke Taz made. Tony Schiavone said it really takes him back to the beginning of AEW. And Taz was like, "Oh, I thought you were talking about middle school drinking a beer."
Hmm.
I chuckled for that. Uh, Claudio ends up picking up Hangman and presses him and throws him over the ropes onto the ramp. Uh, Hangman goes for a buckshot, but Claudio gives him a big uppercut and covers for a 2 count. Claudio catches Hangman mid moonsault and slams him upside down against the wall. Hangman moonsaults off the stage, down on Claudio, onto the floor. Adam Page reverses a tombstone pile driver into one of his own, covers for two. We get Claudio uppercutting Hangman over and over and over in the corner. Get a big lariat and a cover. Hangman kicks out at two. Hangman hits a Deadeye cover for two. Claudio goes for a avalanche Ricola bomb, which I kind of wanted to see. But Hangman reverses with a Hurricane Rana. Hangman hits two buckshot lariats for the win. Excellent match. They're two professionals. They're at the top of the tier in AEW right now. Claudio's, in my mind, definitely in that top of the card pool. Uh, he's much more than an upper mid for me. He's definitely lower top card tier, if you know what I mean. Yeah, they brought down the house. I loved it. Uh, what did you think, Chandler?
This might be my current condition because I'm a little under the weather. But this match, it kind of felt a little by the numbers for me. It didn't really excite me. There were some great moments, like you said, the Hurricane Rana through the Ricola bomb. That was awesome. And then even that little bit at the moment with Hanger drinking that little beer. It's the little things that make the match good. So what, like, by no means not a bad match, but it didn't really excite me as much. And I think that could have been, I just got my expectations way too high, probably. And, at the end of the day, this is still a TV match. But It's still fun, a lot of fun. Hangman's the right choice, obviously, except I kind of disagree on your Claudio uh, bottom of top of the card, I guess, because he always loses these big matches. Like he never really wins against a top guy. So like he's gonna need at least one, like he beats Christian for the TNT title or he wins the AEW world title. He needs to do something big. Not soon, but at some point for me to kind of be on that same page with you. But before I pass off to Chad, I want to shout out Adam Page. Those buckshots were pretty damn good. Congratulations, you're finally better at doing the move than Logan Paul. Only took you your career. Good job, man. You did it. I'm going for heat. Logan Paul hits a better buckshot than Adam Page, except for the two he hit on Claudio. Those are really good. What did you think, Chad?
I loved it. The moves were great. It was a little, it was a wrestling match. Loved that slam onto the ramp. I forgot
Oh
about
yeah,
the ramp because that was a daily
yeah.
place thing, and it always had that like WCW feel because WCW had that similar ramp, and I was like, oh, he's going to the. And he just kind of thuds because it was so well lit. Like I didn't even realize the ramp was there, so I was like, I was expecting him to go to the outside. Also, I was like, ooh, that was awesome.
He
Uh, but like the storytelling was great. It was like Adam Page tried to out wrestle him at the beginning. He was going for those quick pinfalls and stuff. Then he realized, oh, I can't do that to this guy. So he just had to start hitting with bombs. And small detail, which for Adam Page especially, the details matter. The double buckshot is how he won the title. And now later on in the show, he's kind of like, hey, I want to back in the title picture. So I'm thinking a
ooh
little bit of foreshadowing. But
ooh.
that might be the schoolgirl in me though, because I love the hanger. So
Hey, I like knowing things like that because I need to. I still haven't seen the Kenny Omega Hangman on a Page
yeah.
match for the title, but wow, that's I mean pretty cool that he's dropping little hints, little
Oh yeah,
teases.
the small details matter so much for him. That whole build up to him getting the like breaking up with Kenny and that whole build up was just riddled with small little things. Like every match he had meaning, and if you looked for all the details, you'd get them. So yeah, no, great, and hopefully foreshadowing for the future because I loved it when he was kind of the main character of AEW, and I hope he's gonna jump more into the spotlight again.
I'll
Yeah. What?
I'll say this: I want him in the title picture, maybe not the title holder.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
okay. That's fair.
Yeah, he's interesting. He's a great wrestler, great storyteller, just a good character. Like, just him being on the product makes it better. He doesn't necessarily have to hold the title. In fact, I kind of think he's above the title now. He kind of had
Whoa,
he's got his legacy. Like he shows up and I pay attention. Like I don't need the title on him to give a shit. Crap,
yeah.
poop.
Yeah. He 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 doesn't need a belt to tell me a really good story, which I know he's capable of doing. Uh, yeah. It may not have been a banger of a match, but there were some cool moments, and I was thoroughly sports entertained. So, yeah, I'm cool with it. Um, After that, we get a cool little recap of kind of the history of Brody Lee in AEW. I like that they even showed footage of Cody Rhodes getting annihilated by Brody. Yeah, really good footage in there. His debut with Christopher Daniels, uh, who doubted his existence for weeks. Yeah, up to his match, yeah, with Cody and Orange Cassidy. Fun stuff. Um, but yeah, that kind of led into our welcome home slash celebration of life match for Brody Lee. Really fun stuff here. Pretty emotional, a little sentimental. Orange Cassidy, Preston Vance, Dustin Rhodes, Adam Copeland versus Lance Archer with Jake the Snake, Brian Cage, and Gates of Agony, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leona. Uh, yeah, Preston looked great. Hand-picked member of the Dark Order by Brody Lee. Some big history with him. It was kind of cool seeing him be on the good guy team, which Le Faction Ingobernables has kind of been pivoting towards more good guys. I would feel more good than heel. But yeah, it was cool, fun match. Like I said, Preston looked good. Um, Orange Cassidy went to choke slam Brian Cage, but Brian Cage just pushed him away. Uh, Archer went for a tag, but they swatted his hand away, kind of not seeing eye to eye with his team there. Toa Leona pounces Orange Cassidy across the ring. Archer suplexes Orange Cassidy across the ring. We get a rising knee strike to Orange Cassidy from Archer. Jose grabs Archer's leg, but Jake the Snake decks him. We get a Jake chant from the crowd. Orange Cassidy counters a blackout from Archer into a swinging DDT. Preston Vance takes on Gates of Agony. He does a spine buster to Bishop Khan. Cage does an F5 to Dustin Rhodes. Copeland does an impaler to Cage. Bishop Khan gives Copeland a fireman's carry gut buster. And Orange Cassidy goes for a choke slam on Khan. It doesn't work. So Orange hits him with the Orange Punch and finally gets that choke slam. The crowd loved it. They went crazy. Archer mistakenly hit Toa Leona. Cage got mad and clotheslined Archer out of the ring. Copeland speared Cage. Dustin cannonballed Toa Leona, and Preston hit a discus lariat for the win. Feel good moment. Uh, yeah, I liked that. He should have won. That should have been the way that went. And what I'm really looking forward to is Archer versus Mogul Embassy storyline that we should get after that.
Well,
Yeah, what do you two think?
they are fighting on Collision for the 6-man Ring of Honor titles. It's the Gates of Agony versus the Righteous and Lance Archer. So we are getting that.
Oh, cool.
Beautiful.
But on to the match. I did have 2 gripes with it. They're not major. One of them kind of is, but for the most part, this match was a ton of fun. Like, I really appreciated the Brody Lee tribute in the beginning because his career in AEW is something I know very little about. I know he won the TNT Championship. I know he demolished Cody, and then that was Cody's last match was with him, or Brody's last match was with Cody. Like, I know all of that, but I don't know the little details. I don't know everything in between. And then again, really liked that this was a sort of Brody Lee tribute match. I just kind of wish they advertised that on Collision because it would have been like, that could have been a really good thing. Like, oh, hey, we're doing 2 Brody Lee remembrance matches. And maybe don't have to make it that obvious, but like something, I don't know. Like, I wish they announced these matches beforehand. And then if, let's say, oh, they didn't have these matches penciled out on Collision, like they didn't even have them considered, then it's like, well, if you're doing a tribute to a guy, could you have it be a little more thought out? But that was one kind of tiny gripe. Just I wish we had known about it because this would have been a real good reason, like for people to watch. And then my other gripe is the camera missed the lariat. The whole point of the match was to catch Preston Vance hitting Brody Lee's move, and they missed it. So I mean that's kind of bad. So maybe try to catch the finishing your matches. That's like a touching celebration of life to a great man,
Yeah, I
potentially.
was pretty disappointed in that. Then, especially when they showed the replay, because the angle they caught on the replay, it was like he caught some air, and it looks like he had some hang time. He was floating there for a second. I was like, "Oh, that was beautiful." Too bad we didn't get to see it the first time.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
other than that, it was good to see Preston Vance do something because I actually quite liked him when he was with Los Gobles Ingobernables or Los Facciones y Gobelin. I can't say it right now. A long time ago, like he was fun with them, but we haven't seen them. They weren't even together for Roosh for the CC, so he's been gone for quite some time. But good to see him. How'd you feel, Chad?
It was a great popcorn match. It was a good tribute. Copeland or Cope looked great. Like he was moving well, he was stiff, like he was agile, like fuck, dude's almost 50 or he is 50. What the heck? Like he looked
Mm-hmm.
great. Like no business like being as good as he was, I thought. In the best of ways. Some minor nitpicks though. Like the teams were cool, but where was Johnny Silver, Alex Reynolds,
Yeah,
Evil Uno,
I was
-1?
I was really trying to like piece together like, okay, why are these people here? And I literally wrote down, it's like they looked at 8 people backstage and were like, all right, get out there, go have that match now. We needed
Yeah.
an 8-man tag, and you were the lucky one standing
Yeah,
around.
like
Like,
he gave Dusty a pretty good beating once. Dustin Rhodes, Copeland. I don't know. I guess they both liked hockey. Ooh,
well, they never really met in WWE, so unless it's a backstage thing, but they
yeah,
also didn't talk about that. So
because yeah,
They
he came out with
bonded
like
over the Maple Leaves.
yeah, because I know Brody was a big hockey fan, so I'm guessing there was some sort of connection there. I don't know. But I would have liked to see because I love Johnny Hungy. Like I would have loved to see him on the TV. It would have been great. I don't know. Minor nitpicks though. I mean, it was a great match. The sequence where everybody got their stuff in was friggin' awesome. It was good wrestling, good popcorn. I was entertained, but just would have liked to see those guys. How about you, Dave?
Um, Going back to kind of building it up a little more, giving it a little more uh, pomp and circumstance. I wanted full on Brody Lee annual Brody Lee Memorial Battle Royal,
yeah,
uh, or something like that. I think that would be the proper way to handle it. Honestly, uh, what do you two think?
or a ladder match or something. Yeah, I'd be down with that. Something to kind of cement Brody Lee's legacy in AEW.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. No, I'd be down for like a more formal thing because yeah, it was cool, but I don't know. I feel like they could have really went for the feels, and it just sort of felt mm, like yeah, like you said, hey, you eight guys just standing there, go on.
well, I'm sure Adam Copeland was like, I want to wrestle at Daly's place. I'll do whatever. And they're like, well, we'll have Adam Copeland in the 8-man tag. That makes sense. And he was great. And I wouldn't take him out. But it is also like I would have preferred like the Dark Order, even though I don't ever see him wrestle. Like give him a one day as a face team. They do it for Brody, and that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
but
-1
yeah,
comes out and hits him with the papers.
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. I wish Cody was sitting at ringside for this. I had to mention Cody, but I wish he was. That would have been like they just pan. It's Cody. They're like, oh,
Whoops. Uh, but yeah, fun stuff. I'm really looking forward to seeing Preston Vance in the future. Um, give him, a little support, and I think he could have some kind of title within a year, TNT or
I wouldn't.
inter.
I wouldn't go that high. I'm thinking Ring of Honor because unfortunately, I think he still needs a little bit of time to develop something. And a great place to do it
Mhm.
is Ring of Honor. He can hold a title for a bit, see what it's like.
Yeah,
Maybe he could
perfect.
beat. Maybe he could beat the Great Yuta. He could beat Kyle Fletcher. Those would be two good babyface wins.
Sure. Yeah. But yeah, uh, uh, fun stuff. Um, let's see. After that, we get Renee Paquette backstage with the Bullet Club Gold. Uh, Jay White says the Undisputed Kingdom are going after all the gold, and so can they, but they can do it better. He mentions the Trio's gold and the Acclaimed walk up. Bowens brings up all of them teaming up and all of them having gold, and they could be called the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. Yes, please give me that. Like, uh, if they don't do that, they're leaving a lot of money on the table, and they're idiots. Um, yeah, I want the Bullet Club shirt in pink, black and pink. Like, give it all of it. I'm gonna buy the shirt. Okay, take my money.
Mm.
What do y'all think?
Feel like they're gonna split the guns. I hate to say it, but they keep on having. I think it's. I learned it. It's Austin Gunn, the guy with the shorter hair. He keeps on being like, "Oh no, they're onto something." And even in this, he's a little slow, but he was like, "1, 3, 4, 5," and he was like doing the math in his head. He's like, "Oh shit, we'll outnumber them like 6-5, and one of them's injured." And Jay White's like, "No, no, no, get a Y, get a Y." I love the bit where they were like the undisputed kingdom and the other gun was like, no, it's the United Kingdom, it's where Jay's from. And Renee was like, well, he's from New Zealand. And they're like, it's semantics. So I love this Bang Bang Gang. They're excellent. And yes, Bang Bang Scissor Gang all day, all day.
Yeah, that is just too much entertainment on one thing. I think the matches would be pretty sick too. All the weird iterations they could have. That'd be cool.
God, yeah, please, I want it. um, but yeah, after that, Jay and Colton say they'll think about it. Austin tries to make the scissor fingers, and they come and grab him. Yeah, good stuff. Um, after that, we get Samoa Joe coming out, proudly wearing I don't know if you two caught it or read about it. The side plates were the custom Samoa Joe side plates.
Yeah, they look dope.
Uh, God, yeah. Not much changing except for that one side plate on each side, but they did do a change. Uh, so yeah, Samoa Joe says, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Samoa Joe, and I stand here before you tonight as your AEW champion." We get a thank you chant. He says, "No thanks needed." But there's going to be changes to the championship challenging protocol. Uh, no more whining on the mic, and no more getting on social media with hoe ass comments. I thought that was pretty funny.
Mhm.
Uh, now you submit your record and reputation to the championship committee, and uh, if you're worthy, you get a pass to get stomped in front of everybody that ever cheered for you. Um, he says, uh, for the new championship era is here, and your new champion is waiting. Then we get Swerve Strickland's music hitting. Swerve comes out with Mogul Embassy and Nana. Uh, he says it's his first time in Daly's place, but he's going to call it whose house? Swerve's house. He says it's not personal. He just wants that AEW championship, and he's going to take it. He says he's more than happy to make it personal after he beats Joe. Then Hangman Page's music hits after already having a match earlier. He comes to the ring. He says while everyone else is making New Year's resolutions and calling their shot, he's going to call his shot. He says he lost sight of the AEW championship in 2023. In 2024, he will make it his. Hangman didn't forget about what Joe did to him, and he is going to take the title for it. Yeah, we're going to get a triple threat, right?
Yeah, I would assume that at Revolution, that's what they're building up. I mean, first of all, I was shocked that Swerve was going to come out. I was dead set on, oh, it's Hook, and then Swerve came out and Page came out, and I was like, oh, Hook's a red herring, and then it at least ended with Hook, so it's all come full circle. But I thought this whole segment, I mean, I loved the Samoa Joe intro. that was great. Where I liked the idea of sending your reputation and your records, and Joe is the championship committee, and he's like, all right, I decide who's challenging me, not Tony Khan or anything like that. I thought that was cool. And then I loved the idea of Swerve and Hangman coming out. It just ended anticlimactically. Like, I'm not expecting a big brawl, but they all just kind of walked off. And then Joe was like, all right, well, I'll celebrate with my title in the ring. And then Hook came out, which is really cool. Like, I was like, oh shit, they're still doing Hook. And then um like they just stared at each other, and it was a little odd to me. Maybe I just don't know Hook's backstory, but why did he kind of laugh off Swerve and Hangman, who seem to be guys who are like capable of doing like they'll do anything to win, which is kind of scary. Like you watch that death match, you're like, ooh, has Hook ever had a match like that? Like I kept thinking of the match he had with Wheeler Yuta at World's End that was like kind of bad. So it was odd, but I'm very excited for Hook and Samoa Joe more than I thought.
Yeah, it'll be good. It's funny though. Title belt on the line and Battle of the Belts coming. Like, nah, we don't want anything to do with that. Put us on Dynamite,
This,
please.
this is the world title. Come on, this is important. We don't want the third hour collision. We want Dynamite, which I don't blame them. I would want Dynamite.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if they don't do the three-way, a story maybe for title contention, run it back another Hangman Swerve 3 type situation for the title shot would be kind of cool. Um, although three-way would be pretty fantastic if he's even still champ. He'll still be champ.
Mm.
But not cool on Hook for also getting getting to step up to the plate and get some spotlight because yeah, he had such a hot start and then just kind of petered out. So hopefully he has a good showing on Wednesday.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he should have a title shot as much as Jinder Mahal. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We'll talk about that.
Hey,
Don't you
don't you
worry.
hinder the gender.
I
No
got
one
that.
hinders gender.
I got that all locked in for our after podcast news round. So don't. We're talking about Tony
Okay.
Khan's tweets.
Okay.
We're talking about him.
Okay. All right. All right. Um, but yeah, Hook comes out. He says 1 week. That'll be on Dynamite. Yeah, good stuff. I'm looking forward to Hook and Joe, honestly. Um, should be a real violent maybe a mat based uh, match. Yeah, both have a chokehold as their finisher, which I like when two uh, wrestlers have a match and they have similar or the same finisher. I always love that story. Uh, cool. Yeah, should be fun stuff.
Also, I'm
Um,
just looking forward to Joe Uranagiing the crap out of Hook. Hook's definitely a lighter guy, so he'll be able to hit him with that Uranagi, and it'll look amazing.
He'll
yeah,
he'll end that match with the Uranagi. It'll be so hard and so powerful. It just crushes Hook, and he's like, "Oh, I guess I win."
yeah.
Just look
Uh,
over at the announce desk. Sorry.
Oops, sorry, Taz.
yep. After that, we get Renee Paquette backstage with Tony Storm, Mariah May, and Luther. This is a fun little segment here. Renee wants Tony's reaction to what happened last week. Mariah May asked if she watched her match. She said she looked at the screener, but not a single other frame. She said, "Did you do an arm drag?" And she gives Mariah May a chocolate. She says she feels like the prettiest girl at the dance. Uh, Donna Palazzo, or she needs to have a meeting with Donna Palazzo, and she forgets her shoe line. Mariah gives her her line, and Tony Storm says, "That was my line. Now you've ruined the moment." The new element to Luther that he needs to keep doing is that laugh. Like, please incorporate that crap. Like, that was just unbelievable. The little things like that do it for me. Uh, but yeah, good stuff. I'm looking forward to cool title defense. I don't think Deanna will take that belt, but yeah, should be a really great match, and I'm looking forward to Deanna's Collision debut, which we'll kind of get to a little later.
Yeah, I'm thinking Mariah May is gonna eventually take. I feel like that's the way the story's going, which is she's just gonna get fed up with being overlooked. Although delicious chocolate, so whatever.
Mhm.
And then yeah, she'll just get frustrated, and then she'll get her title shot, and Tony Storm will underestimate her. But I don't know. I think it's a good story. Should be fun. I hope they keep getting to do fun segments like this. Although the one thing I really want to see is Tony Storm needs to have a banger. She needs to have a really good match. Her last few have been kind of meh. So I'd love to see her have a couple of really good title defenses, just kind of get more of a legacy before she hands it off.
I would agree. I think her next match really does need to be a banger because I've enjoyed them, but I eat this gimmick up with a fork and knife. So that's kind of a little bit of bias. But a lot of people are kind of negative, at least on the match quality, which I do understand. If you don't like this silly pantomime gimmick at the top of the card, yeah, that's valid. You don't have to like it. I just think she pulls it off. Um, and like Chad, you said with Adam Page, you analyze everything. That's me with these Tony Storm segments. I'm looking at everything. This is the first time Mariah May has been pretty pissed when they like flashed on the camera, and it's all about Tony. And they're really setting it up. And I would really like, even just from that one little match we've had with Mariah May, I think she can be the one to take it off. I would like to see more matches between them, but I can see that happening all in, maybe. Like, I think just give Tony Storm or Tony's reign a little bit more time. But other than that, really fun segment. And I would agree on Luther's cackle. I wish he did more.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Tony needs a really brutal death match, some kind of hardcore match where she gets some color and bleeds everywhere. I think that would really benefit.
Perhaps intergender.
No,
Ooh,
no.
yeah.
Get Drexel in there. Stat.
Yep. Um, but yeah, everyone out there in YouTube land, what do y'all think about Tony Storm? Does she need to have some kind of a banger match that really solidifies her title reign, or is she doing just fine where she is? Um, yeah. Don't forget to subscribe while you're at it. We're getting there. We're pretty close to our next goal, and yeah, we want to keep on bringing you all good content. Uh, yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Um, After that, we got a pretty cool match. Sammy Guevara versus Ricky Starks in a singles match. Um, Sammy was definitely riding the high off being back in Daly's place. You could just see it in his face. Good for him to be back. Uh, kind of previously, we learned, Ricky Starks debuted in Daly's place against Cody, TNT Championship. But
Yeah.
now he's actually one half of the tag team champs. So that was kind of a cool evolution. We get kind of an arm lock and headlock exchange between the two. Sammy hits a moonsault on Ricky on the outside. Ricky does the Rochambeau to Sammy on the apron. That looked pretty brutal. Sammy Guevara goes for a moonsault, but Ricky Starks put his boots up. Ricky nails Sammy with a power bomb, covers Sammy, but Sammy kicks out at 2. Sammy Guevara goes for a GTH, but Ricky grabs his legs and covers for 2. We get a super kick to Ricky for the win. Uh, yeah, I don't know. It was an okay match. Didn't have a ton of emotion until I guess the end kind of like uh, added something to it. I didn't like it, but they were gonna shake hands. Big Bill blindside Sammy. They beat him up, and then Jericho's music hits. Uh, they come out. He's got Floyd the Bat. They fight in the crowd for way too long, while Jericho's music plays for way too long. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. I guess they're trying to get it over with, but it doesn't really look like it as much attention that they gave him uh, on this episode.
Well, it was odd. This is like real baseless speculation, but this is the first time I've ever seen no one sing Judas, which is really odd to just hear Chris Jericho singing. And then maybe the reason they played it through the whole segment is they were hoping that people would just sing the whole time, because that's what happened at World's End is people sang Judas and then the match started and then they booed Jericho. So they were like, well, maybe if we just don't stop the song, they won't boo him.
Yeah, I think they're trying to cover the crowd reaction too.
And they just didn't do anything really. Like, it was a crowd brawl. People typically get very excited for that, and it was super dull. Maybe because it's Jericho, but yeah, they're just getting this match out of the way, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And besides all that, like, yeah, the match was meh too, but something that bothered me about that whole brawl too is Bill sold way too much for Jericho. I mean, Bill's a friggin' monster. I'm sorry, man, but he just was no heat, no believability. Uh yeah, just get this over with. Let's not come back to it.
Yeah, well, Jericho hit like the worst code breaker I've ever seen. He was like 6 inches too short. And I get it. Big Bill's a huge guy, but maybe just like punch him in the gut, have him like, oh, I'm keeled over, and then do the code breaker. Like, I don't know, like, me, it looked good because it didn't look good. And it's just funny to me that Ricky Starks and Big Bill were like the definition of transition champion, and they just keep winning because of like just unfortunate circumstances keep happening, and they're like, oh, I guess we'll keep the titles on you, man. Like, we're not having Jericho and Sammy beat you now.
Oh. Um, but yeah, I'm over it. Ready for it to be over.
Also, sorry to
Yeah.
just interject, the tag team championship match that we saw at September 30th, I think, in Wrestle Dream, is just now getting cashed in like a week. Can you believe that? It took months for that cash in. Months. And I know, like, extenuating circumstances, but still, the Young Bucks should have gone after them immediately.
October 30th, I think, right?
Was it? I
Right
thought it was
before Halloween.
September 30th. Maybe you're right. You're probably right. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
long
no, it wasn't
time,
that close to
regardless.
Halloween. Yeah.
oh, yeah. And yeah, regardless, it's been a while since this tag team match got announced. And
Oh my gosh. Wow, September. It's not that long ago, man. The drive home is when we conceived of doing this. That's kind of badass. Come a long way.
Mhm.
mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Here we are. Um, but yeah, enough of the Jericho stuff. Moving along. Uh, we get the women's version, the 8 women tag team match, Homecoming / Brody Lee Celebration of Life. Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, Anna Jay, and Thunder Rosa, which was a refreshing, neat team for me, against Ruby Soho, Soraya, Sky Blue, and Julia Hart. Perfectly fitting team right there. I really liked that pairing. Um, yeah, the faces isolate Ruby until Julia tags in. Thunder Rosa gets isolated by the heels at one point. Harley Cameron sweeps Willow's legs out from under her, making her hit her head on the turnbuckle. Willow makes a hot tag to Statlander, and she cleans house. We get a big octuple suplex. The heels end up taking the brunt of it. Willow pounces Sky Blue. every woman ends up getting to do a big move in succession. Anna Jay uh, is in the ring with Julia, and she ends up getting the Queen Slayer on her, but Julia backs up into her own corner. Sky Blue tags in. Anna Jay ends up getting the Queen Slayer on Sky Blue, and Sky Blue taps. Anna Jay wins. Kind of a cool emotional thing. Brody Lee handpicked her. Blah blah blah. Good wholesome fun. Uh, yeah, I enjoyed that match. I felt the exact same way I did about the men's match. It was fun. It wasn't great by any means, but it was good. So
At
Yeah, it
least
yeah,
was
they
kind
caught the finish on camera.
yeah, it was kind of like going to the movies to see like Indiana Jones or something. It's good, just a good popcorn show. Like it's fun. I enjoyed it. Was it gonna win an Oscar or wrestler's version of an Oscar? A Slammy? Is that a thing?
Ooh, yeah, that's only WWE, but they should just start doing it for AEW too. Why not?
But no, but it was good. It was fun. I was entertained. Have you ever actually seen Anna Jay? She doesn't really get on TV very much, huh?
No, this was my first time watching her. She looked great. Like
Oh, she's awesome.
she
Like
was
that.
associated with the sorry to interrupt. She was associated with the Jericho Appreciation Society, right?
Yeah. But she was in
quarter.
some pretty good feuds, had some great matches. It occurred to me, I even wrote that in my notes. I was like, has she even wrestled since like Chandler started watching? I was like, I don't think so. Because she's been around almost since day one, right? Pretty damn
Yeah,
close. Yeah,
I mean, we don't know
she's
what
awesome.
they do over there. We don't know what they do over there on Rampage. She's probably on there. Everyone we don't see is probably on Rampage.
Hmm. Kenny Omega's back
uh,
from his diverticulitis, but he's on Rampage. Like all this stuff.
yeah,
Like Young Bucks have actually been back for weeks, but they were on Rampage. Like, come on, guys. But this is, I think I agree 100% with you guys. This was just a fun kind of like match to turn my brain off and go, oh, that was a fun spot. Oh, that was a fun spot. One thing I thought of, obviously, I don't think you mentioned it, but Stokely in the crowd, that was pretty damn funny how they pulled down
yeah,
the sign and Stokely's like, "Ee," and then I was like, his son is like, give Stokely a chance or something like that. Like that was pretty cute. Um, and then I was like, Thunder Rosa should steal that real world championship gimmick from CM Punk. That'd be so funny. Like she just pulls out a red bag and is like, I'm the real AEW women's champion. And like you just have Tony Storm, this complete pantomime like joke of a character against Thunder Rosa, and this really gritty, realistic, like I never lost this freaking title. I'm coming for you, Tony, you bitch. Like something like that would be so funny. And then Tony wins because she's the best. But
book it, Chandler.
that's what I
I
want.
love it.
Like, just why not? And then I wrote Sky Blue winked at the camera again, so she'll always be winking to Nigel McGuinness for me. Always, always. But yeah, just a fun popcorn match to kind of turn my brain off to. And again, at least they captured the end on camera.
True that. Oh man, oh man. Yeah. Moving along, we get a little promo from the great Yuta, Wheeler Yuta. He says he's not a young boy bitch. He's a grown ass man. Eddie beat his BCC teammates in the Continental Classic, but he didn't beat Yuta. Uh, he says, "Bring it this Friday night." Did he say "you old bitch"? What did he say at the end? I
I don't
tried so
know.
hard. Close captioning wouldn't pick it up. But I think he called him an old bitch. That would kind of make sense, like a young boy bitch, the
Yeah.
opposite. But yeah, he challenged Eddie for Rampage, and damn it, man, like that makes me. I gotta watch. I want to watch Rampage for that because I don't want to miss a damn Continental Crown match.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, they said something odd. They were like, "Can Eddie get 4 belts?" So is bring Wheeler Yuta's title on the line? Like, do we?
ooh, shit.
Is Eddie
The
Kingston just
belt
gonna? Is
collector.
he just gonna vacuum like all these belts and then be like, "All right, they're all the Continental title. They're all gone except." Like, I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah. Say what you will, Wheeler fan, not a Wheeler fan. I thought the package itself looked great. Like it was just beautifully shot, like the effects and color correction and stuff. I was watching it. I'm like, don't care so much for the content, but man, this looks cool. Like that with their new graphics and stuff that they've done, which I don't think I put that over last episode, but
Mm-hmm.
um man, they just keep upping their game. Like it looks great. Yeah, please keep going in this direction. I love it.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That it was a very good video package. It was just hyping up Wheeler Yuta. So I was like, anyone else, I'd be like, this is the promo package of the year, and we're only 2 weeks in. But it's like, oh, it's Wheeler Yuta. Is he gonna be Eddie? Oh no, I wonder what's gonna happen. Now watch he
Yeah, yeah.
does, and Yuta just has all four of those belts. And he just goes up to the
Uh,
BCC like, hey guys, what's going on? Like, why am I the best
you want
here?
one? Do you want one? Do you want one?
Yeah. Moxley, you get the Ring of Honor one. Brandon Danielson, you get the Japan one. Claudio, you get the other one. Like, we're all just gonna give them all out.
Freebird
Yeah, yeah, I
rules.
like that. Yeah, dude, love it. Uh, cool. Yeah. After that, we hear the cool new. Oh, you know what? I was about to say I love their new theme for the Undisputed Kingdom, but did you catch that cool theme for Preston Vance? I liked his music. It was good. It was a different new theme. But anyway,
Hmm.
check that out in your own time. Uh,
I think I
but yeah,
still like
they're
I like Roosh's theme a lot, so it's kind of hard to beat
Yeah.
that one. Like the Roosh, Roosh.
yeah.
So it didn't stick out to me, I guess, but it wasn't bad.
It wasn't the normal Ingobernables music. It was like his own like kind of thing, a little hip hop kind of to it. But yeah, it sounded good. I liked it. But yeah, back to this. We get the Undisputed Kingdom music hit. The whole Devil Gang are there. Uh, we got yeah, Roderick Strong versus Brian Keith. Um, I wrote down here, please sign Brian Keith already. Uh, I love seeing him wrestle now, and I think he should be on my television twice a week. Um, yeah, we get a nice headlock to Roddy. Roderick Strong gives Keith a back body drop on the apron. We get a stunner to Roderick Strong on the top turnbuckle in the corner. Uh, Real quick, though, we get the end of Heartache to Keith for the win. Roderick Strong looking like a backbreaker machine, man. Tough, strong, uh, fast. Yeah, everything I like to see. And that damn mustache. Come on. Hangman,
Ugh.
Roddy, and something a little later, too. A little mustachio stuff going on. So yeah, what do you all think of Roderick here?
He looked great. Yeah, this is kind of more the Roderick Strong I was like telling you about. Like that Hangman match he had just didn't do him justice, I thought. But him like kind of getting rid of the goofy part of the gimmick and just kind of ratcheting it up there, I thought was great. Also, not a show would go by without me putting over commentary. Taz claiming he was next strong was pretty awesome.
It's
Yeah,
like, yeah, yeah, you know I have neck issues myself.
it's funny. I thought this was. I mean, it was just kind of a Roddy Strong squash match, but it was still fun to watch. I'm just kind of sad that Brian Keith keeps on getting these jobber entrances, but it's also like, well, at least he's on the show. You know, he made it to Dynamite Homecoming. That could have been any other goober in the
Yeah,
backstage, but they chose Brian Keith. So
yeah. 4 or 5 months ago would have been Commander.
hopefully they got something for him. I really do.
They will. There's no way they're putting him on so often with nothing for him. But yeah, after the win, we get Adam Cole with a few words. Said he meant what he said. This place would change. Doesn't need to earn respect. They deserve it. Talks about Roddy going after the international title. We got him talking about Matt Taven and Mike Bennett being the best ROH tag teams, if not the best tag teams ever. Talks about him and Wardlow are going to win the AEW championship together. And he says, look at the new kingdom. They're going to be around for a long time. Yeah, I mean, I feel as a whole, this has hindered Adam Cole a little bit. The whole thing. It just isn't hitting for me. It's cool. It's like okay enough. It isn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but it I wanted it to be so much more, you know? Uh
Yeah, the injury I think definitely hindered it, and you
Yeah,
don't hinder the gender or the coal.
exactly. I'm this is something that I am willing to let play out because maybe as soon as he's able to wrestle, they'll turn it up a notch. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, it's like you want him on scene or you want him on TV so people remember them, but you don't want to oversaturate them. So you got to find that balance, and they're not finding it right now. But the little line of "We are going to win the world championship," I thought that was really funny. So Wardlow might be my favorite part in this whole group, not because of what he is doing, but what he might do. Like I think there could be some interesting stuff with him down the line, and that's something that I'm willing to wait on.
Yeah, no, I think when I think just having him seething in the background and then eventually just turn him loose, that'll be
Mhm.
way more impactful than him just being up front and center all the time.
Well, something interesting that I remembered, like just this is kind of random, but the fact that Adam Cole was kind of specific in his we don't have to earn it, we deserve it. That was kind of a mirror of what Punk used to say when he came back, because wasn't he like, this is my title, not because I deserve it, but because he earned it, and that's why he's not giving it up. So I'm not saying that Punk is confirmed or anything. I just think that's interesting that they would say something like that. I don't think it really alludes to anything. I just kind of wanted to bring that up. Like, huh, isn't that weird? And I guess you could say that, like the little bits where Adam Cole was reaching into his pocket for a clicker to turn on the broadcasts and all that with the devil when he was hiding. Maybe this is something where the details do matter. And this is all like, MJF is coming back. You just gotta wait. But again, that's all pretty big reach. And I don't really want to speculate about CM Punk anymore. So just want to bring that up.
yeah, yeah. The story I'm not writing off the storyline by any means. I'm trying to like defend it now. Like it can get good, like kind of like where you're going with it, Chandler. Like Wardlow's kind of the most interesting part of it. It can get cooler and more captivating for me. I'm just kind of hoping for that at this point. So yeah, 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 fun stuff.
As much as I want to
um
see Roddy win that international title, I think he kind of has to lose it because that would be really interesting. Like, oop, there's our weak link, guys. It's the silly one. And that will get us to that, what I have been begging for, which is Roderick Strong being against them. Because I just think that would be interesting. But
Kyle O'Reilly comes back and they kick out Roddy.
maybe, I mean, he's got to come back at some point, right?
Lord willing.
I think Bobby Fish would come back for the right story too.
Where's the lie? I could see that. I could see
Um,
that.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, after that we get Renee Paquette backstage with Deanna Perrazzo. She says she set her sights on Tony Storm and the AEW Women's World Championship. Her debut match is going to be on Collision. Red Velvet walks up and says her Collision debut is on Saturday too. Asks Deanna if she wants to stir it up. Deanna asks her if that's her stirring arm. She says, "Good to know." I like that. Already like uh, doing the homework, going after that arm. I like that aspect of that. Kind of cool. It sounds like Deanna's a little more calm. Her voice was cracking pretty hard during her her debut. I didn't know like if that was just her voice, but she was probably super nervous uh
I
at
have
that
heard
debut.
I have heard, I don't know, but I have heard that is something that happens when she starts getting like fired up or she starts yelling as her voice kind of gets a little warbly, which I don't know how you fix that, but maybe just try to be a bit more of a subdued character because I liked her quite a lot in this. And last week, especially with the Mariah May entrance, I was like, nah, if I have to pick one of the two, I'm gonna pick Mariah because like she didn't sound bad at all. She sounded great on the mic, and Deanna Purrazzo kind of sounded like she was nervous, but again, this is another thing where it's like she just debuted. I'm willing to let this play out. We haven't even seen her wrestle, so I'm not against her by any means.
Yeah, looking forward to Collision. Shaping up to be a
Yeah.
good show. Interested to see her. Hopefully her and Mariah May. Like Mariah May has already impressed me. Hopefully it's a good pairing.
Yeah. I like Red Velvet too, damn it. I'm uh really a fan of her uh going way back when she was a baddie for Jade Gargill.
Mm.
Um yeah, what a lifetime ago that feels like. Um but anyway, we have made it to our main event of the night, Texas tornado match. Or a tornado tag match, I guess is the proper name. No DQ, falls count anywhere. Sting and Darby Allin versus Takeshita and Will Hobbs. I know you, Chandler, were kind of extra interested in the outcome of this match. Your boys in it, my boys in it. Uh, yeah, fun stuff. We got Ric Flair there for support.
My
Um,
boy.
he didn't he didn't say
No one's
what
boy.
he didn't say anything sexual or creepy, so we should just have like a sign that says "Days without a creepy Ric Flair comment."
He did take like a,
Six or something.
he did take like a minute to get out of the ring. Like he just kind of like hovered for a minute and like just and I get it, he's old, but I also would say if he's that old, then he shouldn't be getting in the ring. He shouldn't be throwing punches because he's an old man.
I'm kind of like swinging a little back a bit towards like having a little more fun seeing him now. Get
I
rid
think
of
that's
the
I think that's
sexist
fine.
stuff, and I'm good.
Yeah.
He's
Speaking of
doing
old guys in the ring, I was doing the research for that last top 5 video. Friggin' the
Schwacker.
one, yeah, he was in the ring as late as 2022 at 75 years
70.
old. That's
Who was?
amazing.
Who?
You know the old tag team, the Bushwhackers?
One of them was wrestling?
Yeah, he's been doing it off and on since 1966.
Oh my
He
god.
was
Well,
75.
that's like Terry Funk. Didn't he wrestle up until his death? Like he never
Yeah,
stopped. So, oh my gosh. These guys just
Yeah,
can't
fun
stop.
stuff.
so sorry to
Yeah, I
sidetrack
went
you,
out.
but that one
No, I
that floored me.
that's worthy of a sidetrack. That's pretty important to know.
Well, you should plug your video real quick, Chad.
Yeah, so threw in a couple fun videos. The last one was my personal top 5 goofy wrestling gimmicks. Everybody should have their own and should comment on who they think whose theirs is. But I had so much fun making that video, going down memory lane and looking up fun facts and stuff. It was a good time. I was tickled by it. Goofy wrestling puts a crazy smile on my face. Who's your guys' favorite goofy gimmicks?
Cody Rhodes. He is a little goofy,
Uh,
okay?
He
Like
can't be a
when he
little
does his
goofy.
I love it, but it's silly. But I'll give you an actual answer. Let me think.
Dave?
I like Doink. Um,
Yeah,
man, am I gonna get
he
can't?
would have been on my list, but then I saw that Dark Side of the Ring episode, and I'm just like, I can't think of him as goofy
Yeah,
now. He's just sad, evil clown now.
Ooh. I
yeah,
think
pretty much.
I have an answer. It's not my favorite all time, but it's my favorite right now. Mr. Ronald Truth over on
Uh,
WWE. All his crap with
that's
Judgment Day. He made a video about like why he loves the Judgment Day. It's only like 2 minutes. It's the funniest thing they've done in a while.
that's a good
Because
shout.
because
He's awesome.
he's just like I remember when I was with them for this and this, and it's like really poorly photoshopping him to all of Judgment Day's biggest moments. And then it's like, I remember the Judgment Day 1997 pay-per-view. We were all there. And then he's like, I love Damian Priest. I love Rhea Ripley. I love Finn and Balor. I love Tom and Nick Mysterio, even though I never met Nick. Shout out to my boy. Like, it is so funny and he sells it so legit. And what's not on the YouTube channel but is really funny is right after that ends, it pans to Judgment Day because they were actually watching. They're like some edgy goth fandom or edgy goth faction, and all of them are pissed. And then except Damian Priest, who's like the male leader, is like, I liked it. That was well done. I thought it was well made. So right now, our truth is killing it.
Good shout. Yeah, I've always been a fan. He held the 24/7 division together.
And he won it like 60 times. They're like, all right, we need someone to like take it off. All right, our truth. Just take it off, and then we'll roll you up, and then we'll just do this for 5 minutes, and then you'll still be the champ at the end, and you'll have 3 more reigns. And he's like, okay.
Yeah, fun stuff. Oh, the Honky Tonk Man, I think, was pretty goofy. Elvis. Yeah, I love the Honky Tonk Man. Here's kind of an a-hole in real life from some interviews I've watched, but yeah, everyone can be at some point. Um, but yeah, back to the match here. We got Ric Flair and Sting and Darby go on the attack right off the bat. Sting goes after Hobbs. Darby goes after Takeshita. They brawl in the uh, crowd. Sting rolls Hobb into some trash cans on the road case on wheels. Takeshita chops Darby over and over. Takeshita catches Darby on the floor mid coffin drop and German suplexes Darby on the floor. Will Hobbs and Takeshita throw Darby across the ring, kind of like what they did on Collision. Yeah, pretty brutal looking. And Darby actually like hit the rope and like stopped. It was so powerful. Uh, Sting gets fired up and Stinger splashes Will Hobbs, but Takeshita knees Sting in the face. Ric Flair gets in the ring and chops Will Hobbs and pokes him in the eye. Sting does a spine buster on Hobbs. Uh, Darby jumps off the balcony on Takeshita with a coffin drop. Sting Scorpion Death drops Hobbs through a table off the stage. Covers him for the win. That was a pretty scary spot there. Like, I always feel like you guys need to pull the tables out like 2 feet farther. With the Matt Hardy thing, with this, there was like another Sting table spot. I feel that if they just would have moved it, and Adam Copeland, like, I don't know, tables are rough.
I think
But yeah,
I'll defend the Copeland one. I think he was trying to protect Nick Wayne as best he could from the fire. I'll
yeah,
defend that one for the rest of my life because I genuinely think he was like, I don't want to send this kid through a burning table, but we want to do the spot. So this is, and he just maybe effed it up a little bit. I think that's the best case scenario, honestly. But the other
yeah.
ones I do kind of agree. Like, just pull them out a little bit more.
hmm yeah, the doctor had to check on Sting. It kind of scared me a little bit. Like, he got a little whiplash on that. It didn't look great on the neck. Uh, yeah, the chair did not cushion his upper part of his body. Tony Schiavone is in the ring with them after the win. He asks Sting who his final opponent will be, and then the Young Bucks music hit. They come out with evil mustaches and a clean cut look. They stare each other down.
What, can I pull it off?
Oh, is Matt Jackson with us now?
Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of weird. I need to know the motivation for this for it to click. I don't, could this be Sting's final match? Like, what?
I want to hear Chad before I step in, but how do you feel, Chad?
I'm going to say immediately intrigued. I thought the look was awesome. I didn't realize I was going to be as stoked to see them back as I was. Hopefully, hopefully optimistic, I guess is what my best way to put it. I think I think if they do it correctly, it could be awesome because I love the Bucks. They're amazing in the ring, and I love them outside of the ring too. And so fingers crossed that they turn it into a cool storyline and it's a great send off. Um, like, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, that's for me. That's a let it play out because a little confusing, but that's the old trope of coming out at the end of the show and staring them down is always interesting. And now I need answers. So well done. I want to see the next show now.
I've only been watching for a couple months, so I haven't gone back and watched, but at least modern Bucks, I'm not a fan of. I don't like them that much. Like their matches are just kind of flippy, and after a while, it kind of just like loses its value with me. So as of right now, I'm not the biggest fan of the Bucks, and this is the only thing I actually got spoiled for the show was that the Bucks at least came out and
Sorry.
they no, you're good. They might be Sting's final opponent, which at the time I was like, I don't like it. But whenever I get spoiled, I'm always like, I'll wait. If it's cool, I'll be into it. And it wasn't like it was just kind of awkward. I do like their new look. They look like tools, which fits for their current probably heel run they're on. But I don't really know what's the point of having the Young Bucks be Sting's last match, other than like I really don't know. Because they don't have history, they're not tag title holders. They're not rivals. They're just there. So
Yep.
I
The
f-
only thing I can oh, go ahead.
no, you go, you go.
The only thing I can piece together is there's gonna be a new faction, including the Young Bucks, managed by Ric Flair, and that's the vector to get Ric Flair to turn on Sting and
And then Sting
manage the
loses
Young
in his
Bucks.
last match to the Bucks. You want that?
He
I don't
doesn't
want
ha
that.
he doesn't have to lose. He doesn't have to lose for Ric Flair to turn and a new faction to
You
be
want Sting's
formed.
retirement to be ruined by Ric Flair. Is that what I'm hearing? Because I don't want that. Like what?
I don't think that would ruin it,
He low blows Sting, or I think that would. I want
but
Sting.
Sting wins anyway.
No, I don't like that. I
I
don't
don't know.
like that at all.
I mean, in a perfect world, Sting is old school and he would go out on his back, but he'd be doing it putting somebody like Darby over. Like, I don't know if he has it in him to do a one-on-one match, but that'd be excellent. But
That's yeah, that's
let it
something I
play
was
out.
thinking about was, well, maybe he just can't do the one-on-one match because he hasn't had one in his entire AEW run, right? It's all been tag matches.
Think so. Wow. Yeah.
So it's one of those things where they're not saying it, we're just kind of interpreting it. But if Sting's like, I'm not doing singles matches because I can't, that's a different story. We've been saying this Darby Allen Sting match for a while, but if he's just saying it won't happen, then it won't happen. We need to kind of get past that. But then if you're doing a tag team match, and like you said, Chad, put over a younger star, the Young Bucks don't need to be put over. They're the Young Bucks. They're EVPs of this company. They don't need the rub. They've had the rub. They need to give their rub to other people. So every which way I'm kind of thinking about it, I don't really like it. But of course, I'm still willing to let it play out because this is Sting's last match. I'm hoping that it feels important. But as of right now, I'm not interested and I'm not hyped. I would like the match to be in between, like do another Fighter Fest or anything, do another special Dynamite, have them fight. 100% for that. I just don't think they're great for Sting's final opponent.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I just can't like connect the dots on where they're going with it, like what it has to do with Sting. Like doesn't make any sense. So again, I'm really looking forward to hear their motivation, I guess, on Dynamite next week or maybe Collision. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. Cool. Yeah.
I
I
don't think
guess
I
we
really
can do
talked about
our.
the match. Sorry to back up a little bit. They pinned Hobbs. Can you believe that? I was shocked. I was for sure Takeshita was tapping out. Like that made sense, and I was okay with it because they've been building Hobbs, and I don't think this buries him because he took a Scorpion Death Drop through a couple tables, but it's still like, wow, you're pinning Hobbs. Okay, so maybe they
And
will do something with Takeshita. Maybe I'm just being a negative Nelly.
we got to have the Takeshita rolling German on the outside. When
Mm-hmm.
I in my notes, I went, wow, Chandler's eating well this week.
It was a fun match. I hate to say this for what it was. It was a little too short, but that was probably just because Sting can't work that long a match. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was a good main event, and I'm glad that the Callis family can sometimes feel like threats. Because I feel like they did feel like threats in this. Them swinging Darby and him
Oh,
spinning, like what? What are you doing, guys?
yeah, that was cool as hell. Yeah, no, I think now the Callis family is out of the Golden Jets malarkey. I think
Until Kenny Omega comes back.
God, hopefully they just scrub it. Uh, I think now they can maybe become a more credible threat in general. Like it'd be cool to see them as a more dominant faction because I think AEW needs like some more kind of serious heels.
Well, maybe these will be, and I don't think he needs it, but maybe these will be the henchmen for Osprey when he comes in, because we're not that far from Osprey coming in, guys. He's gonna have a match at Revolution. So,
Ooh, what's his first match gonna be?
ooh, we want to do a speculation.
Yeah, reckless. Only the most
But
reckless of
Sting's
speculations.
retirement is Will Osprey single match. Boom.
he's taking that international title off OC.
I honestly thought him taking the TNT title off of Christian Cage wasn't that bad of an idea because he was the face of TNT for a while. So, but
Yeah, I think I'd like to see like a good warm up with like maybe Pack.
Oh yeah,
wow.
he's coming back from what I hear pretty soon. But yeah, we'll get to that with our news. But yeah, you want to do our high point, low point?
For shizzle my
Um,
nizzle. Did I just say
yeah, all
that?
right, I'll start.
I didn't
Yeah,
hear
you
it. What are you
did.
talking about? Uh,
Uh,
what was your low point and high point, Dave?
Low point for me was Chris Jericho. Uh, every week, Chris Jericho, low point every time. And my high point was Luther's little giggle, little cackle that really did it for me. How about you guys?
Low point for me, I'm gonna go against the green. I won't pick Jericho. I'm actually gonna pick them missing Preston Vance's tilt the whirl lariat because that was Brody Lee's move and even WWE. So I was like, oh hell yeah, he's gonna go for the move, and then they cut outside for like nothing happening, and then it's like 1, 2, 3. Oh, he won. So that was like a real big like, what are we doing, guys? Like I don't think I obviously it's harder than I think, but it's also like just catch the important moment, guys. But they point, I don't know. It was all like a fine show. Nothing really stuck out. Maybe just Daly's place because I really liked the vibe of it. I really liked the set. So maybe either they go back to Daly's place or they do it once a year or they start running smaller venues like that because I feel like it was a real intimate and personal show. But you also don't want to look like you're in bingo halls. So it's a little hard
Yeah,
balance. But I
No,
think,
yeah, that venue specifically is a very good balance because it's still like the crowd energy was hot and there looked like there was enough people and it looked packed. But yeah, almost like the ECW place. It was like, oh, it's big enough.
yeah. What about you,
Sorry,
Chad? High
sorry to
points and low
jump
points.
in on you there.
You're good. No, that's a good point.
Let's see. My I actually remember to write mine down this week. My high point actually was Daly's place too, and just the general look. I feel like they've really been upping their game. Like the graphics and all that looked amazing. I didn't put it out over earlier, but I did off camera. The big when they flashed the hook symbol up there, it was like it looked like for the friggin' bat signal. It was amazing. So yeah, Daly's Place for me too was my high point. And my low point was going to be Christopher Jericho. I didn't really want to double up on Dave, but I don't really got anything else. So that's going to be mine too.
Quietest
Yeah.
Judas heard round the world.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll ever, you know, turn around on him again. I'm sure one day.
There's ways everyone can come back. There's ways everyone can redeem their reputation. I haven't lost faith in Jericho. I just don't like him right
No.
now, and I don't want him on my
Yeah,
screen.
yeah,
That's very harsh, but he is an incredibly talented man. He's just very overused for his ability and his reputation, I guess. So those are always my problem. Is I don't like him beating younger stars ever because I don't think he should. I don't think he out wrestles them, quite frankly. I don't believe it.
yeah. Um, yeah, cool, cool. Do we have any wrestling news for the
Tony
week that we
Khan's
want to
tweets.
get to?
Tony Khan's tweets. Tony Khan's tweets. So I'm going to defend WWE for half a second, but I think if people don't know, Tony Khan went to the Twitters and he basically, I'm not going to read it out, but he basically was complaining about booking, which is a bad thing to do as the owner of a company, is to complain about booking. But he went, why are fans okay with Jinder Mahal going for the world title, but not okay for Hook? Like, what's going on here, guys? And first of all, I think a lot more people are upset about Jinder Mahal going for the title than Hook. And also, WWE and AEW are different. They tell stories differently. And to be fair, Jinder Mahal's title challenge was kind of set up. That's good enough. That's good enough for WWE. So, like, do I like Jinder Mahal going for the championship? No. Would I have booked it? No. But it makes sense in the logic of the storytelling. Seth Rollins is a fighting championship. He'll take challenges from anyone he deems worthy, and Seth deems Jinder worthy. So what if I don't agree with him? It doesn't matter. This is what's happening. So I'm fine with it. And then you look at AEW. Well, why does Hook have a number one contendership? He's 28-1, and he hasn't lost in a long time. There you go. That's why. And he's over. There you go. So I think they have two different storylines or two different ways of getting the matches, and they're both fine. I think, I'll give Tony Khan credit. Hook is a more worthy world title contender than Jinder Mahal ever can be. But
Don't you hinder my gender.
I love Jinder, but he probably shouldn't be world champion again. But I just think so. There's all of that, right? Which is a conversation we can have. For Tony Khan to bitch about it, and like he kind of got trolled by USA and stuff like that. So like, just don't engage. Be like Soraya. You need to delete your Twitter, man. You need to like just get off it and just start booking. Like, we don't need to hear about this. I know there's second company syndrome, and they'll always not talk about the big, or they'll always talk about the other guys, but maybe it doesn't work every time.
Yeah, he could lay off the social media for sure, I feel. Yeah.
I don't know. Other than that, CM Punk was on Raw. It was a good segment, but nothing really to talk about.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre stuff. Pac's return to AEW should be imminent from what I hear. I'm very happy about that. Every time he comes back, he gets hurt.
I hate to say this. I had a great time, but I gotta go. Thank you so much for a wonderful podcast, guys. Bye bye. But this is the end of me for the night. Good night.
Feel better.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I guess that just about does it. Uh, yeah, a little bit of news. Fun episode of Dynamite at Daly's Place. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and we appreciate your support. Cool. Have a good one. Thank you. Bye.
Peace.